Hi, everybody. I'm doing some camera things. Um, just give me a second here. Hmm, there we go. That's better. Hey. Well, let's see. Um, hello, and welcome. Um, welcome, friends, to our late night art club. I'm Crystal LeRae, and I'm here to be your fun and encouraging art friend. Um, tonight, I thought it would be nice to get into some coloring work. So we're going to look at some coloring books that I have, and we're going to talk about how to work with markers. I like to use a variety of markers when I color. So we're going to do a little marker work. We're going to do a little coloring, and we'll just chat and have a good time. So how's everyone doing out there? Feel free to drop into the chat. I see you there, Sermo. Hi, good night. How are you? Um, how's it going out there? How's everyone feeling? Tired? Pushing it through? Just settling in right now. Um, before I get started with the actual coloring book, I wanted to take a look at some of these markers. I have actually some new markers that I haven't done anything with yet. So we can take a look at those and see how they work. All right. So when I do coloring, yes, she's welcome. The cat will be welcome when she shows up. She will show up at some point, I'm sure. So, so here are the markers I have. I have one brand that I have is Tombow. These are Tombow ABT Pro. They're alcohol-based markers. I like to use markers that have a brush tip and like a chisel tip. And let's take a look. So brush tip is like that, looks like brush, and the chisel tip is more like a traditional marker. So I usually buy brush and chisel tip markers. That's my jam. I also use felt tip markers, which I'll take a few of these out. These are just regular old um, Papermate um, colored felt markers. I do like to use um, the scented markers just because I'm a child. Um, Also, I do have some fine liners in here. I've got some uh, Copic liner pens. Um, and occasionally I'll use like a highlighter, just a regular old um, highlighter. I also have some metallic markers. I don't know what these are. These I just got in a set one time. But these are also brush and these are point tips though, rather than chisels. Um, and then we have a brush tip. Let's see if you can see that. We have a brush tip on this one also. So let's just go through. I haven't used any of the combos yet. Those are new. And I also have, let me see. I also have, thanks, Dermo. I also have these markers. These are a hoo-hoo, I guess. Dual tip marker pens. I have a few boxes of these. I haven't really used these yet either. I've got a box of Copic markers, which are my very most favorite. These are kind of like the gold standard of alcohol markers. But I have a box of Copics. These are Copic Chows. They're just a little smaller than regular Copic sketches. I don't have any Copic sketches. I also have some Posca paint pens that you might see pop up as we do a little bit of coloring here. And we'll just see how it goes. So let's take a look at these markers first. I haven't used any of these Tombows. I'm really excited to try them. So let's see how that works. Let's get this out of the way for now. Okay. So Tombows. So I don't really know a whole lot about markers. It's mostly I've been using Sharpie markers. I have a lot of these fine tip Sharpie markers, and I use those mostly for, for my line drawings like this. When I'm doing work like this, I've been using this type of pen, these super fine Sharpie pens, and I love them very much. But I've also broadened a little bit into using alcohol markers, and I actually had some examples. Let's see. Oh, I hope you couldn't hear that. It sounds awful. So let's see. So here's an example of a piece that I did using a combination of markers. So this one was done with alcohol markers and felt tip markers. I really like using the alcohol markers. They do bleed a lot though. So you can see everywhere I use the alcohol marker, it definitely came through the paper. This is a very thick cardstock, and alcohol markers tend to bleed through pages. So if you're going to use them, we're going to talk about that in coloring books in a second. Um, you're either going to have to get special coloring books or make choices. So that's what we'll look up. So this is one here. You can see I've used a lot of like lining techniques. It's just a lot of like felt tip marker for the darker parts, and then the larger expanse parts are alcohol marker. I also have this piece, which uses alcohol markers. This is all alcohol marker. The entire background is alcohol marker. So I use a few different colors to create this background. There, I don't know. And then the white here and this pink, this is all done with Posca paint pens. So that's actually an acrylic. So this is my 2.5 of wands that I drew. I really like it. Um, so that's what we're going to be working on today, talking about a little bit of coloring techniques. So let's see these Tombows in action. All right, let's pick a few colors to play with. Let's see, green, green, orange. Let's see, green. There's another green. Let's see, do I like those? I don't know. Maybe we want a blue. You want to use blue? Maybe that. We'll see. Maybe we'll add some colors. Do I want that one? Maybe that. Maybe. No, I don't like that one. Yeah. Okay. Let's do something with these. So let's see. So like I said, I've never used these markers before, so I don't even really have an idea of how they handle yet. So let's see. Excuse me. So oh, see, let's make a mark. Ooh, that's nice. So what I'm testing for right now is nib flexibility. So the point on, let me see if I can show you. The point, oh, there we go. The point of this is not actually a brush. It's solid, um, like rubber, I guess, or felt, not rubber, but like it's a solid uh, tip. So there's not actual brush fibers happening. It's just very flexible and bendy, like a brush. So you can get different kinds of stroke weights, and you can do stuff like this. You can get some nice like brush stroke type things. And this is actually really pretty. I like the way that it kind of fades out. So let's see what that looks like when it dries. Also, these markers do dry out a little bit. Like the color will dry um, as you use them. So they kind of change, like acrylic marker. Acrylic paint does that too. It kind of changes color as it dries. I really like this green. It's very pretty. All right, so we have that. Let's see how this chisel tip is. That's a nice firm point. We got a nice, there we go. Yeah, no, these are great. I really like these. These handle really nicely. Especially compared to the Copics. I'm going to use a Copic really quick just to show you. Um, you can see this has a much more flexible tip. Um, and I just find that Copics, let's compare it to another color. I feel like Copics give really beautiful color. And these Tombows are really good too. I don't know. They're fine. It's just you can kind of see the difference here. Like that's the Tombow, and let's see, that's the Copic. So you can kind of see there's a different shape there, but they're really comparable. I really like these Tombows. Let's take a look at these Ahuhus, I guess, and see what we think of these. These are sort of, so like, let's talk price point real quick. The Copics are probably our most expensive. These are the gold standard alcohol markers, and they are pricey. You can get like 3 of them for like 20 bucks or something. It depends. 15 bucks maybe. So they're at $5 a piece basically. Um, they're they're kind of like, they're very expensive. So they're a pro item, they're a luxury item. The Tombos are less expensive, but they are not as inexpensive as these Ahulus. So let's see how these stack up. I do have brush tip and chisel tip here as well. Let's see. Ooh, ooh, that is not a flexible. See, look at that. Look at these beautiful teardrop shapes I was able to get with the combo and the Copic. And here with this brush point, look how sad. Now, there is a place for this sort of work, but I can't get this from this. I can get this from this. I can make the Tombos, I think. I could probably get the Tombos to give me, yeah. See, I can achieve that look with a Tombow, but I can also do that with a Tombow versus or a Copic, I guess, versus this, which frankly, I don't know. Maybe I need to break the tips in. That's a little better. I still don't like manhandling the tips. Okay. So so far, I think I do love the Copics. These Tombos are coming on strong though. I really like them. Let's talk about blending. Let's do a little blending first. So with one of the things that makes working with alcohol-based markers so like powerful is that they blend and cover so beautifully and nicely. And this makes a difference, particularly when we look at when we start coloring in our coloring book, you'll see that there's a big difference. In fact, I'll show you a few examples so you can see. You can start working on a coloring page soon. I think that'd be good. Oh, where'd my coloring book go? Oh, there it is. It's a little bit of a mess in here today, so don't mind me. So I have these two coloring books. I'm not sponsored or endorsed or anything by these two book publishers, but they are books I enjoy. So the first one is, let's put on this one first. This is a manifestation coloring book. And it just has a lot of beautiful pictures and really nice sort of mindfulness verses. And one of the reasons why coloring is such a wonderful tool for all ages is because it does encourage this sort of mindfulness practice. So let's take a look. So obviously, coloring books have existed. We used coloring books when we were kids. You know, this is not a new product, but adult coloring books are fairly new. I guess now they've been on the market for maybe like 15 years. I guess the early 2010s is when you started seeing them around like very popularly. Um, the first one I can remember, the first coloring book I can remember seeing was called Secret Garden. And I can't remember who drew that, but they were these beautiful, intricate, like nature inspired. And that was the first adult coloring book that really caught public attention. And mostly because it had a lot of small, intricate spaces to color. So a good example would be anything in here. These are all great examples. So you can see here, there's a lot of little nooks and crannies to color in. So that's kind of the hallmark of an adult coloring book. Adult coloring books tend to have more small spaces, more detail, and more opportunity for different kinds of experiments. So that's what we're going to work on today. Now you'll notice that this coloring book has double-sided pages, and that is kind of a problem if you use alcohol markers because alcohol markers, as we saw on that other thick cardstock, bleed. So we're not going to be able to color both sides of the page. So we have a page like this, and color it in with alcohol markers, we lose the ability to color these in. And we also have to be careful because it might bleed on to the next page. So I'll actually show you like right here, this would be impossible. We'd have to, as I said earlier, we'd have to make choices. So that's okay. I think we're going to come back to this book and we're actually going to color something from here, but I want to show you another book that I have. And this is actually my favorite coloring book right now. It's totally magical. Um, totally magical. And one of the things about it that I love is that, oh, that's one idea, is that these are single-sided pages. And what's nice about that is that I don't have to make choices. I can color every single one of these pages. So that's nice. So here are a few that I did already, and you can kind of see this is part of why I love alcohol markers. Like you just get these really beautiful, rich, vibrant colors. Like look at this blue. Look at how this blue looks on the page. It's gorgeous. It looks like it's printed. Um, when I'm coloring these, I usually use, oh, and look how much it's come through. And look, here you can kind of see a little bit of the purple down on this page too. Um, but usually I do use a combination of felt tip markers and alcohol markers, and that yields different results. So here you can kind of see this is done with a combination of alcohol markers, and you can kind of see how I've added a little bit of shading into the hair with a little bit of felt tip marker, the finer felt tip marker. So we'll see how that looks as we do it. And I think it is to good effect on the coral. You can kind of see the color change there. So here's a few pictures in here. I've done a few. I've started some. Here's one that I finished. I like that one. And I'll show you one more. Yeah, this one I used a lot of different markers to achieve some of these gradation effects. You can see here where I'm using marker to create shadow. So I'll just pick one and then we'll work with that. Oh, here's one. Here I used in the alcohol markers, I used a layering technique to create this texture in this cloud. So what I think is I'll just start coloring and then we can just continue chatting about it. So I'll just pick a picture and then I'll start working on it. Let's see. I want to do one out of this book and I'll show you the simple way that we can protect our pages when we have coloring books that force us to make choices. So what I usually do is I take a piece of thicker paper. Now this isn't like super thick paper. It's not cardstock. It's just a heavier weight paper. And I like to just kind of fold it and let's get these scrappy edges off. And this is just going to kind of go behind page, sort of like a napkin to kind of make sure we don't get things on pages we don't need. So let's find a page. Um, let's do this one. This one looks good. I like the affirmation over here. It's kind of something I've been thinking about with the new year. So let's take a look. Step into your power. Take back your power from that little voice that falsely tells you that you're not good enough, smart enough, or lovable enough. Face your fear. Remember that the things you want are on the other side of that fear and doubt. Calibrate your perception. Tell yourself that success is already on the way. Create the conditions for transformation. Learn to accept a compliment with grace. Say thank you when someone says well done or tells you how much they appreciate you. Step into your power, honoring your highest self. Witness your power unfolding as those around you take their cue from you. And then there's a little quote that says, what we are today comes from our thoughts of yesterday, and our present thoughts build our life of tomorrow. Our life is the creation of our mind. Guata, Guatemala Buddha, Guatemala Buddha. I'm sorry. I know I'm saying that wrong, so I am apologizing. But I do really like that sentiment. That's especially affecting for the new year. Thinking about some of the resolutions that I have for the year coming. So, if anyone out there has made resolutions or you're hoping to get some things going this year, this is what that's about. We're stepping into our power. Um, and actually, that's part of why coloring books, adult coloring books, took off. Also, is that I sort of started talking about that, the mindfulness movement, um, because coloring sort of forces you, not force, but it gives your mind something to do that takes it away from the language center. And really, mindfulness, to me, my experience of mindfulness, is all about kind of like coming away from the language center, coming away from the need to label and say, this is sadness, this is anxiety, this is happiness, or whatever, instead of labeling, like sort of resting in the actual feeling instead of validating it with language. So I guess what I mean by that is um, when you're coloring and you're feeling peaceful, instead of being like, wow, I really feel peaceful right now, you're you're just feeling peaceful. So you're sort of resting more directly in that sensation when you take it away from the language center. As far as I'm concerned, like when I think about it, language center um, really it it puts when you are labeling something or looking at something, it really sort of puts a wall between you and the thing. So, um, we're going to be coloring. I love coloring, um, but if I'm coloring and thinking about not what I don't know. I'm getting all it's messed up. Never mind. Never mind. We're just gonna color. It's all good. So I'm gonna push this down a little bit closer so you can see a little bit more of the picture as a color. And I guess we'll get started here. Let's see. I know that's a little closer. I know it cuts off a little bit, but I want to get us a little closer. Okay. I'm gonna stick with using these combos for now. I might bring in some paper mates. You'll see um, as we get started. But all right, let's see. Well, I did pull out a few combos. So let's see. I got greens, pink, blue, and sort of an orange. Bring that green back. I think I'm not going to use this green. I think I'm just going to use these. So I've got 5 colors out right now. That's good to start. Okay, let's see. Um, I'm really interested in coloring books. I think some of these smaller sections to color, they can get pretty intricate, but I do really enjoy um, coloring. It's nice, it's fun, it's an easier way to kind of be creative because you don't have to start with your whole structure. We're being creative with color and texture, and that kind of this frees us from having to worry about composition. So coloring books are nice. Um, art generally, when you're doing this kind of stuff, or you're just creating something, there's like 3 things that you want to pay attention to. It's color, composition, and craftsmanship. So the colors that you're using should go together. They should work together. Maybe we'll talk about that later, like palette development. um, so color composition is just like having a balanced composition, and because we're using a coloring book, we do not have to worry about that because this is all very nicely taken care of. And then the last thing is craftsmanship. So craftsmanship refers to us not necessarily staying in the lines, though. I mean, basically, what it comes down to is intentionality. So craftsmanship basically is, are we handling the medium in a way that yields the result that we're looking for? Okay, I'm actually going to back this up a little bit. Okay, so intentionality. Are we able to get the medium to produce the results that we actually want? So those are basically the things. So today we're going to focus on color and craftsmanship. So I'm going to just pick a color to start with. I don't know. Let's start with this pink. And let's see. I want to start with the brush tip. And let's just pick a spot to start coloring in. So palette choices um, can be very personal, or they can be based on lots of different things. I like to base things on nature. I like to look at nature for palette ideas. That's actually the best place. Those colors naturally to our human eye look good already. Landscapes, particularly, we're wired to be like, oh man, water near the land and it's fertile. What? That's we're already conditioned as humans to be interested in that. So color palettes that occur in nature are already appealing to our eye. Another way to pick color palettes is to use other artists' work. You can look at paintings that you like. A way that I really like to do that is with patterns. So wallpaper patterns, fabric patterns, things that catch my eye that have a print to them. You can pull colors from that, and that will give you a beautiful palette as well. So this pink is quite bright. It's a very vivid pink. I like how it's coming out so strongly. Um, and I feel like I have pretty good control over it. There's not a lot of bleed over the lines as I'm coloring, so that's good. I've chosen this palette today. It's greens and orange and blue and pink, and it's based on just like a sunset meadow. That's kind of what I was going for. Um, so these colors should work together, but we'll see as we go. There's no pressure. This is all just fun. Remember, coloring is it's about being present and it's about mindfulness. It's about staying with what you're doing right here. Um, let's see. I guess I'm gonna do symmetrical coloring here. This drawing seems to really want symmetry, so we'll color it in. We'll give it its color symmetry. All right, that's pretty good. That's not bad for a start. I want to switch to a felt tip marker though. Let's see. I'm gonna use this one, and I'm gonna get another Tombow, and let's see. So I think these are pretty close. They're not exact, but it's a good like in between for these two colors. So here's what I'm gonna do. I want to create an effect here. I'm gonna use this darker felt tip marker. Oh yeah. And I'm just gonna come in right here at the bottom and do a little bit of coloring here. And we're gonna come up there. So I've just put like a little bit, oops, there, a little bit of color there. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take this Tombow, and it might not work because let's use a Copic. I'm gonna use one of these lighter colored Copics, and let's see if we can get some good shading going. That looks great. Come back to this. Like that. Oh, that looks great. And then the alcohol markers will blend together nicely. That's one of my favorite parts about working with alcohol markers is that they blend together so nicely. So we're able to get this beautiful color gradient going there. I don't know if you can see. So that is actually what I'm gonna do. We're gonna try to get that color gradient. I'll do it again here so you can see it. Again, we're gonna take that dark red or that darker purple, and we're just gonna give it a little bit right here at the bottom. I'm using the felt tip marker. It's a little more resistant to blending, um, so it won't be as strong. I'm gonna use my Copic and get in here with that, and then I'm gonna use the Tombow and just bring it up. Beautiful. Go back over it with that pink, and there you go. We got a gradient. I'm gonna I think I'm gonna clean up these sides. I don't love that in pink. I want to do something a little more contrasting. So I'm actually going to use um, a felt tip marker, and we're gonna add a little green there. So it'll come a little darker, and it'll pop a little bit more. And it'll work since we're gonna be bringing in green um, anyway. So this is just sort of to clean it up a little bit. And then we'll do this middle part in green also. Great. Great, great, great. That looks great. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. So let's do this part. Let's do this in green. Like that. And then we'll do the edge in green. Get a nice dark color here. So this is going to unify the color palette a little bit too, since we're doing blending. Blending is great for that. Helps us to unify our color palette. So things look like they belong. All right, let's try this one. Now, I'm going to do the green first here and see if that makes a difference. So I'm coloring in here. I feel like I shouldn't have done that because, well, we'll see. The felt tip marker, sometimes it is resistant to blending, but it doesn't always completely resist. So we'll see. Let's see, let's put in our dark here, come up and around, underneath here. Okay, put our pink down. Yep. And then we'll get our purple back. Oops. Use the brush end just to bring that together a little bit. And then we'll use our pink again to blend, blend, blend that. And it looks great. Like, okay, so here's what it ends up looking like. So you can see we're getting like this really nice color gradient. I'll do it in a bigger section. It's a little hard to see since this is so small. Maybe I should have picked a picture with a larger print. But this is good. So let's do this. Come in again with the dark purple. Go around, create the outline. And we'll add that pink from the Copics. I really love Copics. And then we'll add the purple back. Bring that up. And back to the pink to blend. And there we go. That looks good. All right, and then let's put our green in there. Okay. All right, wonderful. Okay. All right. I think that looks good. All right, let's continue. Let's look at this next part. So I want to keep going with this color scheme. I think maybe I'll do this here, and we'll just do an outline on the outer leaves like that. So I'm not coloring them in. I'm just, oh, I forgot to color this part. Oh wait, nope, I guess I'm coloring that part now. So I'm just creating an outline here. And I guess we'll do that since I did that to that one and we're doing symmetry. That's fine. It's fine. It'll just add a little dimension. We'll pull it up somehow. I don't know. Okay, so there's that. We use a Copic. Let's see. Just do a little lining here. Now this looks very similar, but when it dries, you will see a little bit more of an outline from that green side, so from the felt tip marker. Um, so it does show up a little stronger, and we can actually reinforce it there. Yeah, that's good. That's a little dimension there to our drawing, to our coloring. You know, even though the lines are already created for us. We can still add depth and shade and shadow. Let's use the blue. Actually, let's see what colors I've used so far. So far, this is the color palette we have. Oh, and that's, so let's see. Let's maybe bring this guy. Color this. Get some dark tones in here. Yeah, that's good. Do a little here, and we'll pull that up. Um, yeah, I'll pull that up here a little bit. Fill in side and here, same. Okay. Um, let's use another green. Let's use this light. No, we use the light green for the leaves. Let's use a different color. Let's use blue. Here. So I have this blue. Come up from the center point. I think that would look cool. Yeah, there we go. It's good. And then let's do this little arch in blue too. Let's bring that blue in nice and strong. Okay. Now we did bring a little bit of that blue up, so I'm gonna grab this blue Tombow that I pulled out, and we'll see. Hopefully it's not too dark. Oh yeah, no, that's great. And we'll just pull, pull that color up like that. And like that. So I'm actually pulling the color up with the alcohol marker. So we're gonna create a nice gradient effect. It's kind of hard to see, but let's see if I can, so you can kind of see that that's happening. We're gonna tidy it up a little bit. Um, but we're just having fun. It's okay if it's a little bit off. We're good. I really like this though, like the little bit of green shadow here. I'm actually gonna take my Tombow and pull this up a little bit, just a little bit less of a harsh line on that. There we go. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Let's use some orange. Let's get a different color in here. Where should we put orange? Let's color this part orange. Now, I really like doing expanses or like these big areas with the alcohol markers because the color just looks so beautiful when you're done. You just get these really nice, strong color effects. Yeah, see, you can see the other side coming through. That's okay. So perhaps, um, yeah, I think that looks good. Um, I like this orange here, so we're gonna continue with that. We'll do oranges all around. Oranges all around. Merry Christmas. Um, Speaking of Christmas, the holidays are over now. It is a new year, and the title of this episode is New Year, New Markers, and we are using new markers. That's good. I wanted to kind of put it out there. Is anybody doing any New Year's resolutions? I am sort of doing a New Year's resolution. My main resolution for this year is to be consistent with art club and to grow this community and really make it something cool and beautiful. That's really what I want this year. Um, Ideally, this late night art club would be a forum for all of us to just kind of hang out and do work together, whatever that work is. Coloring, painting, drawing, ceramics, sculpting, music writing, movie making, model building, uh, whatever you're working on. I don't want this to be a cool place where you feel welcome, you feel like it's okay to show your work and be proud of it. That's what I want here. It's hard being a creative, and it can feel very lonely, and it can feel a little competitive too. And my hope is that this space is just sort of like a neutral area where everyone can just kind of get together and be cool and hang out and do art, make things, and share. So hopefully we get to that. Like I said, this is a new year, and that's my resolution. I'm going to really try and be consistent. I'm really going to try to uh, make this work. So hopefully you keep tuning in and uh, make some friends while we're here. That's what this is for. Um, let's see. All right, that looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. Now, I don't know if I'm going to come back and do any shading here since I've done so much shading in these little places. It's nice to have a flat or just a solid area to kind of let those um, areas shine against. All right, let's see. Let's see. So we've used orange, we used green, we used blue. I think I'm gonna come back in with this darker color here and get some of these little side things. Yeah, these little guys on the side. Just just like that. Not a big deal. Just coloring them in. Not gonna worry about it too much. There we go. That looks great. Oh yeah, very cool, Sermo. Um, Gluing cherry blossoms onto a stream or a stem. Do you mean stem or is it a stream? And then the gradient. Oh, thank you. Yeah, they do kind of look like strawberries, don't they? Yeah, no, I'm really loving how this gradient is coming out. So we'll see how this picture goes. That cherry blossom, that kit you're working on is very cool. Um, I'll share some pictures online of it this week. when this goes up. So yeah, just coloring in. We're not worrying too much about it. Doesn't have to be a masterpiece. This is just, we're just having a good time. Okay. I think I want to do this little bit up here in the red that we just used. And I don't know if you can tell, I've been interchanging between the chisel tip and the brush tip. I use the brush tip for extra small, fine detail work. Um, let's see, what color do we want to go around here? What color wants to be there? Um, something bright, maybe. Something a little brighter. Maybe that blue. Let's come back to that blue. We didn't use much blue, so I put some here. I think that looks pretty good. I was actually thinking, I've been thinking about, oh, stream, they're floating. Oh, they all float down there. That's great. Well, very cool. Um, yeah, I think this looks good. Still need to go in here and do this. I'm not sure what colors I want to use there yet. Uh, mm, mm, I don't know. I think it's okay right now. All right, let's see what else. So here, usually when I'm working on coloring books like this, I like to use markers. I don't really use a lot of colored pencil. I used to, um, but I really just fell in love with the the color, the vividness of the color that you get with the alcohol markers. So I've been mostly sticking with that. Let's see. Let's use this super dark green and just come in here and just put a little bit more at the bottom here. And we'll add a little bit more green to pull that up. I just wanted to add a little bit more dimension underneath here. Yeah, that looks good. And then we'll use a combo again and just very lightly up, 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 and up, 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 up. Layering with these markers is like the way, really. The layering effect here, you're able to get some really great textures and colors uh, if you layer. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay. Um, maybe a yellow? Maybe a yellow here? Yeah, we'll clean that up a little bit, but I like that yellow there. That looks good. I'm going to show you how we're going to clean it up a little bit, but I like that color there. That looks good. Go. Yep. I think I want to do these in yellow also. So just going to do this. Now, we are going to come back in at this yellow and add some felt tip uh, detail. But this is pretty good right now. All right. So maybe, let's see, use a felt tip marker and let's do from the top, let's bring it in a little bit. So actually gonna do a little bit of a halo closer to the top here. So this is a way I'm blending that pink line, some of that pink that maybe got away, got into the yellow area here. We're gonna kind of clean it up, but blending it in with this yellowy orange color. And it'll create a gradient for us too, so that'll look really cool. Come back in with the or sorry, not a combo, with our Copic, just to get some blend on that, blend, blend, blend. Yep, and yep, that looks great. Let's see, so you can see what it looks like, what we're getting at here. So that's what we have so far. I can go in here and tighten this up a little bit, but I think that's pretty good right now. You can see doing a pretty good job being consistent across and just really liking this gradation that's happening here. So here it looks a little more dramatic because I use more variant colors. Here we've got more subtle shading because I've used more um, or more colors that are closer to each other. So let's see. Let's do the top here and just put a little here. We're not gonna go back over here with the yellow. We're just gonna, or yeah, with that other yellow. We're just gonna kind of bring out that pink a little bit against and into the yellow to create a little bit of gradient here to make it flow together a little bit more. Take our take our Copic and just do a little bit of blending just to make those lines a little less harsh. And there. I think that looks good. I think we're cooking. All right. Okie dokie. So let's see. Um, all right, let's see. Do we wanna let's continue these petals. Let's continue with this petal. I wanna bring some more pink back in. So let's grab the pink Copic that we used. And I'm gonna color this whole outer area pink using the alcohol marker as a base. And my idea is that we are going to come in with some other colors, maybe that purple again, and create more gradation. And I'm not sure what that looks like yet, but we'll see. We'll see what happens as we go. Do a little bit in between there. Yep. Just So I guess as I was saying, I want this to be a space where it's okay to try things, where it's okay to play. Um, I know sometimes when I'm looking at YouTube and I'm looking at other artists, it's really easy to start getting into that like comparison zone and feeling like my work or what I'm doing is not nearly as good as what, you know, my peers, people who I really need to consider my peers, what they're getting up to. And it's easy to feel like you're not good enough. It's easy to feel like your work is subpar. And the thing that I want to let everyone know, and the reason why Late Night Art Club is because the thing isn't, I mean, talent matters, right? Like being a good artist matters, but the thing that matters most and the thing that gets you to being that artist you want to be is practice, consistency, and practice. And I guess that's what this is for me. I'm trying to use this as a accountability thing. Um, Showing up here for you with you guys every Saturday really encourages me to make sure that I'm doing the work. So hopefully my goal is for us to feel like a community. We're keeping each other accountable for working on the things we're working on. And even if it's just a hobby, even if it's just fun, even if it's just, um, for our own personal enjoyment as opposed to like a career. Even when we're doing art, that is important artwork also. And I just want everyone to feel like they have space to do that. It's important. Um, yeah, I think this looks good. I think we're doing okay here. Color this in. Yeah, that looks great. Okay, so we've done, excuse me, we've done some outlining here. We used a little bit of purple to outline. I'm actually gonna use this uh, pink color here and outline this outer edge also. There. And we'll take this purple, our purple tombow, and we'll add a little bit of purple alcohol marker here, just around the edge. And let's see, let's grab that pink back. Let's see. See if we can get this to blend. Will it blend? That's nice. I like that. I think uh, it'll dry down nicely. I wonder slightly hot, a lighter combo. There, yeah, that's good. Just a little bit more grade there. And then this, yeah, I think, yeah, I think that looks cracking. Take a look. There we go. So, I think that looks pretty good. Let me just do that all the way around. I want to keep working on this one though, and then we'll come back to these other ones. Let's see. Um, shall we pull more blue in at this point, maybe? Yeah, okay. Let's pull some blue in. Um, do this very outer edge. There we go. Gently, slow, smooth, trying to stay in the line. All right. Now I'm also going to add this here. Now I'm not going to color these in blue, but I just want to sort of insinuate that blue color throughout. And when we color it in, that blue will be kind of in there peeking through. And we'll make it a little more tie everything together. Let's see, what color shall we use now? Let's use one of these green colors. Oh no, not that guy. Maybe this. Maybe like a minty green. Let's see what that looks like. I kind of like that. Let's see. Yeah, that's good. And you can see the effect I was kind of talking about with this blue. Yeah. So you can see here, again, using a layering technique. Um, so we get a nice little color variance there. I'm going to see, color in the rest of this blue. Yeah, I do like these combos. I think for the money compared to the Copics, I definitely still love Copics, but these for the money are really good alcohol markers. I would recommend these combos if you wanted to try an alcohol marker. Either that, or I would recommend maybe getting a few Copics. They sell little Copic sets. This set that I have, 36 markers, and I don't remember how much it was, but it wasn't too much. I know that the larger sets, now it's because they're chows too. So there's two kind of Copics. There's Copic Sketch and Copic Chow. Copic Sketch and Copic Chow, they're the same, but Copic Chows are smaller. So if you just want to get started um, working with alcohol markers, you've never used them before, and you just want to try them out, I would recommend Tombow or a small set of Copic Chows. Um, I really love the Copic chows. Um, they're not terribly expensive and they do beautiful work. Okay, look at this. This is coming out great. I'll pull it up so you can see it. Look at that. I think that looks very good. Charming, even. So we're gonna do that all the way around. We're gonna do this pink and blue to the other three petals. Um, I kind of want to do this little crown part, but I'm gonna hold off because I don't know what I want to do with that yet, and I want to get everybody else colored all these other petals. So let's see, how did I do that? It was the pink Copic Chow first, and pretty sure that we just colored this whole thing in with the pink. And in there too, inside these little openings. Why, thank you, Surma. Why, thank you indeed. Um, yeah, so that's my recommendation if you're wanting to get started with alcohol markers. Felt tip markers, I really like Papermate. I mean, it's just old school Papermate um, felt tip pens. They're just what I'm used to using. So and they're very affordable and you can find them basically anywhere. I did buy, like I was kind of saying earlier, I did buy scented ones, and I really like the scented ones. These felt tip pens that I have, I'm not using it right now. I'm using a Copic right now. But these felt tip pens, they're breakfast. They're breakfast scented. I'll show you. So this one is, what is this? Vanilla blueberry tart. So this one smells like blueberries when you use it. It's actually, if I forget that I'm using a scented marker, it's very confusing because it's like, did I make pancakes? Why is there syrup on my hand? This is raspberry jam. This one smells really nice. They're all smells like that. I think there's an espresso. There's a couple different kinds. So right, and then we do this felt tip outline with our raspberry, by the way. And I'm pretty sure we did this outline. And back up and back down the other side. All right, and then in between here and here. All right, grab our combo. Do a little bit here, here. There we go. And let's see, use this. Yeah. Okay. All right, and then a little bit of this. Get that ink. So let's use the chisel tip. All right. Hmm. Yeah, that one came out a little different. I don't know what I did. What did I do? Oh, I guess I used a little bit more of this. That's okay. I'll do the other one with this one. I think I used this one on this one, and then I used this one on this one. So that's why it looks a little different. That's okay. I don't mind that very much. Um, yeah. Do I want to continue that? Let's do the other side. Let's see. Okay. So when I'm doing coloring books like this, um, I always kind of wonder, like, what I wonder if the person who designed the coloring book had like something in mind. I think I've been thinking about designing some coloring books myself because I enjoy them so much. And there are some images that I would love to color that just don't really seem to exist. So I think maybe, you know, making them myself is probably the way to go with that. I don't know. If I make a coloring book, I'll show you guys what I'm thinking about. I have some loose ideas right now, but nothing ready to like share or say this is what I'm doing. But when I do, I'll let you guys know. And maybe we'll do some coloring pages from that when once it's published. Won't that be exciting? Okay, so again, we've got our outline going. I like to lay down a layer of alcohol marker first because it changes how the ink is absorbed into the paper. And if you use the alcohol marker first, um, it just comes out a little differently. You get a different kind of a situation. Like the colors seem to blend a little bit more nicely if you do it this way. Um, but I don't know. Let's see. Use that chisel tip again. Get in there. pull colors together. We really want to give the colors an opportunity to blend. So we have to make sure we're laying down a lot of color. Um, I guess it's good. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. I want to do a little bit more blending here on this. Um, but I think that looks really good. Um, let's see, I'll try to, we'll finish up with this one for now. And then we'll see how it goes. Next week, maybe we'll continue. I don't know. If I finish this during the week, I will post it. If not, we'll finish working on it next week. Maybe next week I'll show you guys some of the designs I'm thinking of for my coloring book. Um, we'll see. Also, we're getting close to the end of tonight's studio time. It's all crazily. It's almost 11:30 now. If you have any ideas for what you'd like to see on Art Club, or if there's something you'd like to talk about, or any ideas at all, I'm very open to that. Like I said, I want this to be a community. So if you have ideas, please share them. I'm definitely interested in what um, you guys want to see, and want to do. I don't really. My goal with this isn't to make it instructive. I'm not here to be like your art teacher, because I am not that good at art myself. I mean, I love it, and I consider myself an artist, but I do not feel ready to teach anybody how to art. So less instructive, more communal. I want this to be a place where maybe, we can do some light crit on each other's work. If you are trying to do more with your art, maybe that's something we can talk about. Getting involved with like a professional artist community. Um, but really, I'm mostly just interested in, very selfishly interested in seeing what other people make, because I find it so fascinating how people choose to express themselves artistically. It's one of those things where we're able to convey meaning to each other through, you know, signs and symbols. Oh, did I freeze? I can tell it's freezing up. Hmm, it's going so slow. There we go. Are we back? Nope. Well, crikey. Maybe that means we're done for tonight. Well, let's go ahead and be done. The computer says we're done, so let's be done. Um, I will continue working on this through the week though, and maybe I'll have something finished to show you. Oh, there we are. There we are. Sort of better. Okay. So what I was saying is I'm going to, well, let's finish this. I want to finish this, and then I'll work on this a little bit um, during the week. Maybe you'll see it next week too. I'm not sure yet. So let's finish this petal, and then we'll call it an art club night. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Um, I know that it is late at night. My idea for it being so late at night is so that more people can join, because I know that it's hard to get away and participate in art sometimes when you have other responsibilities. So that's what we're doing here. This is supposed to be a free space for everyone to kind of come and hang out and do stuff like that. So um, I just hope that you guys are getting that out of this. And if not, please let me know how to make that happen for you guys. Slightly darker. Slightly darker. So, oh, let's see. There we go. It's real light. And then here. And then let's go back in with this pink color. Get it blended, blended, blend. Okay. And there's that. I think that looks really good. Let's see. So you can kind of see we were able to get some nice color gradation between the colors there. I think these look really good. So I'm going to continue. Let's see. Let me make sure I know what colors I'm using. This is the blue for this little part. And this blue, just going to do that. And these little lines here, get that. And then there's the mint green. And then we'll go back in with that blue. And then we'll be done. So, all right, guys, let's wrap it up for tonight. Thank you for hanging out, and thank you for working along. I hope you worked along. Um, if you're not working along, please. I think it's a good idea to. I think it's a good idea to work along with us here. If you want to draw, paint, anything, whatever you're working on, bring it. We do Lego kits. It doesn't matter. Um, we're all about just taking some time for ourselves to do some creative work. And whether that work is for us personally or for us to share publicly as professionals, doesn't matter. Um, everyone should feel free to create and have space to do that among friends. And I hope that that's what this is. So I will see you guys next week, same time, 10 o'clock to 11:30. Um, and yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. All right. Until next week, friends. Enjoy art and stay frosty. Bye.